Thank you, everybody, for joining us on the latest BG Insights videocast. Really excited about my guest today, a good friend of mine, Lisa Marrone from Chelmsford. We've done some work for the town, hoping to explore that today. But if you haven't been to Chelmsford, there's a lot going on. Really excited to have Lisa here to talk about what's happening in her world. But Lisa, welcome. Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you so much. Come to Chelmsford, see what's going on. I am the Director of Business Development for the town and very busy. Busy in different ways in the world of business development than we were at the beginning of this year.
I'm sure. I know that for those that don't know where Chelmsford is, give us a little geographical lesson here.
Well, as you know, Don, we are at the Crossroads, mostly at 495 and Route 3. You can get here through many different avenues, Route 4, Route 110, Route 127. All roads lead to Chelmsford. And, there's a lot of great opportunities here in the world of business development. I know you've been to our town a few times as well.
So what's how did you get here? I mean, what's your background?
So I have a background of economic development, which is somewhat one and the same. My prior role with municipal government, City of Leominster, in economic development for about a dozen years, and really learned a lot there regarding tax incentives, a lot of growth happening out that way, and in the world of manufacturing, which is a lot of where some of those tax incentives are very helpful in the terms of warehousing, things like that. So did about 8, 9 or so tax incentives, and then rolled that into housing development incentives, the HDIP program through the state, did some housing projects out there, and got my hands into a lot of different great programs, started up an entrepreneurial program, really did a little of everything in that town, and well suited for what Chelmsford needed in terms of filling up empty space. It's been a great arrival here. I've been here almost 3 years. We have cut our empty space in half, and then COVID arrived. So so good times, but we have still some very exciting, really amazing projects coming. We are welcoming Pressed Cafe. They signed a 10-year lease here in the corridor of Chelmsford Crossroads. And as you know, we launched a branding and identity program for Chelmsford Crossroads, which you were very pivotal and crucial in helping us develop.
Yeah, that was a fun project. I mean, oftentimes, I think we're living in a world where people want a brand, they want to name and frame things, and I applaud the town of Chelmsford for the Economic Development Committee moving that project forward in a way that was it allows somebody like you to sell the town, because really it's a sales job. And you're right. And if you think about the opportunities for companies in and around Greater Boston, the closer you get to Boston, the more expensive it is. But you're right. Chelmsford is not like out in the middle of the Midwest. It's not that far of a drive from downtown. So I mean, it is relatively close. And because of the infrastructure around it and the crossroads, you can get in and out and to and from. So it's sort of a bit of a hub. So talk a little bit about the idea behind the crossroads and how you're selling that to potential business partners.
Well, upon my arrival, you guys had already started that creative development process. And as the Economic Development Commission worked together, we came up with the Crossroads because our largest cluster of business and industry development is at the intersection of Route 3 and 495. So that kind of became a bit of like, this is the great direction to take it. The obvious, next best identity, branding, those types of things. So from there, as you know, we developed a great website, ChelmsfordCrossroads129.com. And more currently, we're well on our way of developing an association within the Crossroads. We have 150 businesses here. Some of them are global headquarters. We have many employers, are large scale, 1,000, 2,000 employees at each location. And that has spurred a lot of great opportunities for housing development. We've brought in about 750 rentable market rate units in the area of the Crossroads. And now we're attracting business amenities. So before COVID arrived, our numbers were about 7,000 plus people come in daily for work here, just in the Crossroads area, 600-acre park. So we've got
Wow.
abundant potential
Great.
going on, and so very exciting.
What's the feel in town? I mean, obviously, this is gives people a sense of pride, not only business owners, but those that live there as well. What's the? I mean, I'm sure we're focused now, of course, on the Crossroads, but there is an impact town-wide. What's the feeling there?
Yeah. Well, I mean, the first ones to feel those pain points are the small businesses, and that's directly where it took all of my time and attention, right, starting in mid-March, end of March, and a lot of case-by-case supports, circumstantial situations. The COVID relief funding was kind of put out as a blanket approach to help them all, but it doesn't always work that way in terms of business development. They are each their own circumstance, their own business plan, their own recovery plan. So we've been putting out as best we can our own version of COVID relief. We put out a grant through the Attorney General's office. A grant just went out. Checks are probably arriving in mailboxes today. We put that out as a way to help small businesses with reopening, and marketing specifically was an eligibility for this grant to help them get their customers to come back, recruit new customers, provide incentives, and maybe some way help lead the path into the holiday season, where a lot of those small businesses, that's their survival.
Sure.
For the next coming season coming up.
So you're busy. You're
Yeah,
really busy. You're
really
you're
busy.
the hub of all this stuff. I mean, obviously,
Yeah.
a lot of things happening, but obviously you don't have a crystal ball, but what's next? What's next for Chelmsford? I mean, between the first time we were engaged to now, a lot has happened outside of COVID, but the branding, the Crossroads, your arrival, the excitement you've brought to the community and the people you work with in the town. What's next for Chelmsford? Because it seems like there's a lot happening, but there's more to come.
I got to tell you, Don, you might be surprised to hear it, but a lot of my most successful points in providing support and relief has been communication and outreach. Sure. And making yourself available, and not just social media. Here's where to find some help. Attach a link.
Sure.
So it's been a lot of honestly, my email database is on fire. I've got about 500, 600 emails, and that's where I get my best response. That allow that one-on-one interaction. And now what's happening is, I've been dropping your name in conversations.
Sure.
And we're talking about a newsletter, a blog, a way where businesses can go get information rather than me always pushing it out. We all can't sit on email all day long, but it has been effective in what I need for COVID relief and recovery.
Sure.
But now we're looking to be more of a proactive, push information in terms of business development for the Crossroads and for the business community overall. Wow. None of us have time to sit on Facebook or Twitter and watch for what we need specifically to come by on the screen.
Well, I'll tell you what, if this economic development thing doesn't work out for you, you can go into marketing. It seems like you got it down pat. And speaking of which, I've heard you've launched a little bit of a video cast yourself.
Yes, I have. And so, when Town Hall closed down briefly, I mean, we reopened in the middle of May, we closed in the end of March. So I'm thinking, how can I connect with my business community when I'm not actually sitting in the business community?
Yeah, it's tough.
So we did a little talk show during the quarantine to answer questions, and we called it The Q. And after the quarantine was lifted, we started reopening. Chelmsford Telemedia, our Access TV station, also as a town department, I tried to kind of fade it out, and they said, "Oh no, we're keeping the
That's
talk
good
show
content,
going.
Right? That's
There's
great.
always something to talk about. There are always questions that need to be answered," which is why I'm inviting you next onto my little talk show.
I love it. I love it. We'll be honored.
So we can keep on answering the questions that the businesses need answers for.
Well, that's great, Lisa. Yeah. I'm so proud to be part of the even though I live outside of Chelmsford, but I feel like I know the people, I know what's happening there, and obviously our connection has been wonderful, and I'm looking forward to continue our relationship and having these conversations, because there's no sort of cap to where you can go as a community because of all the things you do have to offer businesses. So when I was a reporter for the Globe, one of the last questions I would always ask is, there anything we didn't cover that you would like to discuss and tell your audiences here before we close up?
I have such a long list of things to keep we could talk for hours, actually, between you and I. You're conversational. I've got such good news to share all the time, but we've got businesses moving in. We've got large companies.
Great.
We've got Thermo Fisher taking up 110,000 square feet.
Wow.
Just purchased
Congrats.
it last month.
That's
So
great.
that's another big one coming forward. We are working on age-friendly Chelmsford, which is another reason for communication and marketing and promoting our town. I am working on a special park project for age-friendly Chelmsford.
Oh, wow.
A lot of other, economic development, business development overlap, the whole circle, and that engine
Sure.
goes round and round. So I really appreciate the opportunity to talk up Chelmsford.
Absolutely.
I sometimes feel like I'm the spokesperson, but however and wherever we can get some of this good news out, that's what we're doing.
Yeah, I'm finding that economic development professionals are the glue in the community to keep the conversations going, driving business, driving those connections. If people want to reach out to you, how can they get a hold of you?
Oh, I'm here every day. Town Hall, 50 Bill Ricker Road, second floor. You can email me, Marrone, at chelmsfordma.gov. You can find me on our website, Town of Chelmsford, Chelmsford Crossroads at 129. You can call my desk phone, 978-244-3303. There's many ways you can track me down.
Love it. Love it. Accessibility is key, especially in your role. So
Yes.
Thank you for joining me today. And for
Thank
those
you.
that are interested, I'll make sure I drop these links into our description for those that are interested in Belfort Group, Integrated Marketing Communications Agency in Boston. You can find us on the socials at the Belfort Group and obviously thebelfortgroup.com. Lisa, thank you again for your time today. This will not be the last time you and I chat, because I'm sure next time we chat, there'll be some other great news that you're working on. So I'm looking forward to it. And thank you.
Great. Thanks, Don.
You're welcome.